All right, Aquarius. So this week from Lay Vampire, you pulled natural, authentic, real, and organic. And then from Chakra Wisdom, you pulled quest. Now, natural from Lay Vampire very much is about being who you truly are. The blessing says, when you take away the trappings of money, power, status in the world, you are left with the things of spirit, and you are rich in the ways of the soul indeed. This creates a balanced, centered, strong core. Working with this card says that there may have been an over-reliance on ways of identifying who you are. Whether you have categorized yourself by a job, your appearance, personality, or wealth and background, it is time to go beyond this to who you truly are and know yourself from the inside out. And when you look at Quest from Chakra Wisdom, I think for some of you, you may be heading somewhere that you don't need to go. You know, this card is saying that you're already on the path that you're meant to be on. It's just that with natural, you may be questing for something that really isn't who you are. The very first quote for this card says, "When I am somewhere else, my life will have meaning." The inspiration says you may be on a quest that is unnecessary. Allow yourself the space for self-discovery, and that comes up twice with these. The personal question says, is it time to take a risk? Where in my life do I need to walk my talk? The key ideas are being open to wisdom, imagine dangers, and commitment to your path. So you are already where you are meant to be. You don't have to change who you are for there to be more meaning in your life. And definitely don't try to be something that you're not either, which is hard for me to believe with Aquarius. I just think that for some of you, you know, you need to be who you are on the path that you are already on because you do have meaning in your life right now. All right, Aquarius, here we go. Here's the energy coming through. Nice, very nice. Looking at the Nine of Pentacles, looking at natural, and looking at quest, I think that you guys are doing fantastic. The Nine of Pentacles is not just about enjoying the finer things in life and enjoying the things that you have, but absolutely you should. This is saying that you are independent and you are self-reliant. You do not need anybody else to create your own security and stability, and you look fantastic. And I think that, you know, for some of you, this is where you're wanting to be. It's just, I think that, you know, looking at quest again, like you think that by heading somewhere different or doing something different, you know, is going to get you to this point, but it's more about being who you are and being true to yourself. Oh, very nice. So in the past, the Empress. Yeah, again, you guys look great. The Empress is giving birth to new ideas. For some of you, it could actually mean pregnancy. And it also could be a mother figure coming through. There's a nurturing energy around this. And for a lot of you, if you are feeling this way, I mean, both of them look fantastic. If you are parents, you have a very secure and stable home. And you are a very nurturing, loving person. But then the other thing too is abundance, 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 right? Enjoying the things that you have in your life. Oh, shit. Both the feminine energies. Are you kidding me? It looks great. The High Priestess in present conditions. When you're looking at the High Priestess, it is a hidden wisdom and hidden knowledge. But it's also about being very in tune with your intuition and who you are. Being true to yourself, natural, right? Naturally. Naturally being the psychic that you are. Absolutely. You look great. You look great. I'm not seeing anything here or feeling anything where there's like secrets being revealed or anything like that. You're getting more in tune with your own intuition and knowing what is right for you. Oh, shit. You know, I say that, and then you have the Five of Swords. Seeing the Five of Swords as future conditions. This card really does show it. It really does depict it pretty well. Feeling betrayed. Feeling stabbed in the back. Being caught up in bullshit conflict, right? There's no truth here. But I think you already know it. And it may be a situation for some of you where you have people coming through that, may be jealous of who you are and what you have. The other warning here too is you don't want to get caught up in this kind of nonsense. Because here you look great. You look fantastic. It's just right here, it's like something else happens. Oh, your best path to follow, the King of Pentacles. Now, definitely could have to do with an earth sign. And I've always said when they show up in readings, they are fantastic people to get advice from. Now, on the other hand, I kind of feel like two things. When you're looking at it as your best path to follow and you're looking at the Nine of Pentacles, this being Spirit's advice to you is telling you that, you have the ability to create success in your life. And it's not something that you have to continuously struggle to do. The King of Pentacles is the pinnacle of success. He knows what it means to create success and to have it be long-lasting and sustainable. But he's also very giving of his time and resources. And this may be a situation here where maybe you need to be a little bit more giving to yourself when you're looking at experiencing abundance rather than getting caught up in this kind of conflict. Now, the other problem too, when I look at the two in terms of you need to be careful with the thought that, you need to have this kind of success to define who you are, because that's not the truth. But I do see this as you needing to enjoy your life and enjoy the things that you have in your life. I think intuitively, not to get caught up in this, but for some reason, this is what you're looking at. In your environment, the Page of Cups. For some of you, if this has to do with a relationship, I'm looking at this and, I think you already know. I don't think that this is an issue where things are like secrets being revealed that are causing conflict. I mean, yeah, it could be the case, but the way that I feel about it, especially with the Empress coming through and looking at the Nine of Pentacles, I think it's one of those things where intuitively you know what is happening around you because you're right here, and then here you are too. You know what is happening around you. You see it clearly. It's just that when you're looking at the Page of Cups with the High Priestess, for some of you, it may be that you intuitively know that now it's time for you to be more honest with your communications about the way that you feel. And this could also have to do with messages coming through to you. When I see the Page of Cups, I see healing in relationships as well. It's the new beginning within a relationship. It's, making that offering here to do some strengthening and bonding within relationships. The other thing, though, is, for some of you, you're looking at new emotional experiences that may be difficult for you. But I think you already know what is happening around you. But, I worry about where it's leading you here. Don't allow yourself to get caught up in this kind of nonsense. I think you know better. I think you do. And it may be because you're dealing with new emotions that, may be difficult for you. Your hopes and your fears, the Two of Wands. What is the best action to take is immediately what I heard. What is the best course of action for me to start taking here? Because you already know. You know what is happening around you. You look fantastic. Your life is great. I think you are definitely on the path that you're meant to be on. But when it comes to dealing with emotional things, I do think that, it's something that's going to be difficult for you, but you're also thinking practically about it, and there's also that understanding here that, these things don't define you, right? But at the same time, there is a need here to be able to enjoy the things that you have, especially new emotional experiences. But the problem is that this is causing issues for you. It gets to a point here where you start to think about, what action do I need to take now? What is it that I need to do here? What path are you truly going down? Are you going to allow this to affect you? Or are you going to allow, this abundance to come through where you're able to better experience this on an emotional level? I just see this as something that ends up being difficult for you. But I think that, you are right on when you are in that space of your intuitive knowing. You know what's happening around you. I think you know what action you need to take, but maybe there's two different paths here, and it could be a situation where, again, you either allow this to affect you or you don't. Oh, very nice. Very nice. Seeing the Magician come out of this, and then seeing the Two of Wands, yeah. I think you're going to be fine. I just think that, there may be some, difficult emotions that are happening, and it may have to do with things that are being said to you. But ultimately, you're okay. Like, you're good where you're at. And then, looking at the Magician here, you're deciding to manifest something different here. This isn't something that's going to affect you. It may be something that you're going to have to deal with. And it may be because you are dealing with somebody who is emotionally immature, which is the other thing here with the Page of Cups. But I think that, you are in a better position here. I think that, you're carrying this feeling of being, nurturing and understanding. Like the feminine energy is coming through big time. And even if you're male, it's just saying that you know how to deal with people who may be emotionally immature that are looking to cause you conflict, but overall, you know what it is you need to do. And I think that, for some of you, you could definitely have somebody that's like coming through here that may be, helping you here just because of this position. This has always been Spirit's advice. This is your best path to follow, right? I think it's more important for you to be a little bit giving, and maybe not so much giving of your resources, but giving of your time and support when it comes to like trying to set this person on the right path, because if you are dealing with somebody who is emotionally immature, they could definitely be trying to, cause you some bullshit. But I think you see it, and you know how to take care of the situation. And again, the Magician is just saying, nope. You have the tools and the skills available to manifest whatever it is that you want. And then also seeing the Magician coming out when you're looking at quest, it looks great. It does. It means that you're going to get to a point here where you realize that, you are on the quest that you're meant to be on. It's just you need to be careful about, when you're looking at natural, not being true to who you are, right? Because all that other outside shit, like your job, your wealth, things like that, do not define who you are truly. But again, you know that. All right, Aquarius, we're going to take a look at the soul trees to see what else is going on here for you guys. But I like it. I think you know what's happening. I don't think that there's any like shocking revelations that are coming through. You're pretty strong in your own position. I think that there may need to be a little bit more concentration on, the abundance and enjoying the things that you have in your life and being grateful for that, rather than, dealing with people who are looking to cause you problems. But you know better. And then the other thing too is you have to be careful about allowing your own emotions getting the best of you here with the Five of Swords. Oh, solar plexus, and you're not the only one to get that in expansion. Yes, being true to who you are, your soul is expanding. Something in your life is expanding as well, and it may be your emotions and dealing with them better. But looking at the solar plexus, you know who you are. You do. You know who you are. You know where you're going. You're confident in your plans, which is great. But play, damn it. Enjoy that abundance. I'm telling you. You need to enjoy the things that you have in your life, especially if you've worked really hard to get to where you're at. Because you look very successful. You do. So give yourself some time to play. expand your emotional awareness as well, too, so that you can better deal with these situations. But, I do think that you're smart about it. You know what's going on. It's almost like you're being the better person, right? And not allowing any kind of emotional immaturity to cause this kind of conflict. Release your ex. The time has come to clear your energy. Yeah, you can't get into any kind of new relationship if you're hanging on to that. And then also you can't, it's almost like you're having a hard time moving forward because you can't get rid of that. So you have to get that out. You have to get that out of your system and let it go. Keep an open mind. Your soulmate may differ from your usual type and expectation. And then deception. Someone is wearing a self mask in this relationship. Here's my thing with this card. Both people are wearing the mask. And it may be a situation where you're not comfortable taking off the mask. But the thing is when this card shows up for me, it's one of those things where you're going to have to be the one to take the mask off so the other person feels okay in doing that as well. It could be, but, looking at keep an open mind, yeah, there could be some deception going on within the relationship. But when you're looking at keep an open mind, basically it's saying that, there may not be any intentional deception. It's just that they're not truly revealing what is happening because, you may be wearing a mask as well. So if you're having problems within a relationship right now, I think that you're going to have to be the one to take off the mask so that they can see it's okay to be open with you about things that are going on. Because it's funny, it's like, you already know, right? With the High Priestess being there, you already know what is happening within your relationship. But you can't wear that mask of being upset about knowing something and them not talking about it, right? You got to be like, okay, well, I know what's going on. Why don't you just talk to me about it? And then keep an open mind. It may be that you're starting a new relationship here and this person may not truly be revealing themselves. So it's almost like, well, this isn't what I expected. Well, it's going to be up to you to show this person it's okay to be who they are. But either way, Aquarius, with this reading, I do feel like a lot of you know exactly what is happening around you. But you're also very confident in yourself and in your plans. And again, take some time to play, but also be true to yourself. And, when it comes to quest, right, you are on the path that you're meant to be on. You don't need to change who you are to, see things start happening in your life. Things are already happening. All right, Aquarius. So this reading, the feeling around it is you're very in tune with yourself. I really do think you are. It's so important to be true to who you are, right? The outside shit does not define who you are. And I think that's where play is coming in too, especially when you're looking at all the abundance that's going on around you, right? It's great that, you're on this quest here for this abundance, but then it's also important to enjoy the things that you've worked so hard for. Now, on the other hand, I kind of get the feeling here that some of you may be dealing with somebody who's emotionally immature, and I do think that it is important for you to be giving of yourself right now when it comes to dealing with this person, because they may be causing you some nonsense. I don't think that anything hidden from you is being revealed, because I really do think that you already know. You already know what's happening around you. You may be dealing with some new emotions, though, as well, that are causing you some difficulty. But if you are dealing with an emotionally immature person, it's going to be up to you to kind of set them straight, basically. And, you're thinking about it, and you're putting it into action here. What's the best course to take here in dealing with this person, right? You have the ability to manifest any kind of a situation. And you also have the ability to get control over situations like this. Whether you're dealing with new emotions that you're not sure about, or if you're dealing with somebody emotionally immature. But either way, I do think that it's going to be up to you to be the giving person in this situation and kind of set this person straight, basically. But then, when you're looking at the Magician, you're looking at the solar plexus, you know who you are. You're confident in your plans. You know where you're going. You know where you're headed. I just think that it's important for some of you, when it comes to expansion, to remember that there is, things that may be happening emotionally that you may be expanding with and understanding these emotions as well. But then also, expansion and play, right? Expanding that part of your life where you get to actually enjoy the things that you've worked for. Now, when it comes to love, release your ex for the singles. I mean, that goes without saying. You can't go into a new relationship and still have that energy. You don't want to be comparing any new people coming through to an ex. And then you also don't want to be blocking yourself from starting anything else because you can't let this go. So you got to clear that out. For those of you who are in a relationship, deception and keep an open mind. Now, just hearing keep an open mind and deception, it could be one of these situations where I think you already know. I think you already know what is happening. But maybe you need to keep an open mind at the fact that the partner or your partner is not intentionally trying to deceive you. It may be that they're not really talking to you about some certain things because they may be afraid that it's going to cause like some major fighting, right? Now, for those of you who are dealing with a new relationship, you may be looking at this person like, this isn't what I expected. And maybe you need to give the relationship some time, but you're also going to have to take off that mask so that they feel comfortable in revealing who they are to you as well. But Aquarius, I do get this feeling here that, you know what's happening around you. I think you know how to handle the situation. I think you are confident in where you're going. You're confident in your plans. I just think that for some of you, you need to take some time out, not only to play and be giving to yourself, but be giving to yourself when it comes to new emotions. But then also, be that nurturing mother figure or father figure in dealing with emotional, immature people, right? Like, set them straight because you know what you need to do. You know what the best course of action is.